Hello, today I want to tell you about cyber attacks. In the following minutes, we will talk about what a cyber attack is, cyber attack types, global examples, and how we can protect ourselves from them.
Let's take a closer look. When computers were not yet so advanced and computers were gigantic in size, there was no such thing. After years of development, computers became widespread and formed the fascinating network structure of today. But it was not until 1982 that we realized the problems that this fascinating structure would bring. In 1982, humanity encountered the first known microcomputer virus, AlkCloner. This virus didn't actually cause any damage. However, due to its structure, it spread from computer to computer and affected large masses. This virus found on a game disk. First, infected the computer, then infected another disk inserted into this computer. And what did it do? On the 50th boot of the game disk, it printed a poem about the virus. This was the first cyber attack. A cyber attack is a malicious attack by individuals, groups, or governments targeting computer systems, networks, or digital devices in order to damage, control, steal information, or disrupt services. These attacks can target a wide range of data, from personal information to financial data. The door to this danger opened by the AlkCloner would not be closed in the future.
We will talk about them later in video. First, let's examine the types of cyber attacks together to explain how cyber attacks works.
Malware, short for malicious software, is a general term for any software designed to harm, exploit, or otherwise compromise the operation of computer systems. Malware can cause data loss and theft, reduce system performance, financial loss, reputation loss, legal and regulatory issues, network and internet connection problems. Malware includes a variety of forms such as computer viruses, worms, Trojan horses, ransomware, spyware, rootkit, and adware. We can give Morris Worm, Stuxnet, and WannaCry cyber attacks as important malware examples in history. These examples illustrate the severe impact malware has had on computer systems throughout history and underscoring the importance of cybersecurity measures. Awareness and the use of up-to-date security software are critical defenses against malware attacks. Phishing is a type of cyber attack in which attackers attempt to convince individuals to provide sensitive information such as usernames, passwords, and credit card details by presenting themselves as trustworthy entities. This is usually done through deceptive emails, websites, or messages that appear to come from trusted sources. Phishing cyber attack types such as email phishing, spear phishing, clone phishing continue to be a common threat even for large companies such as Google, Facebook, Sony, and many more. Continuous training, awareness, and advanced security measures are required to protect individuals and organizations from such attacks. Man in the middle is a type of cyber attack in which an attacker intercepts communications between two parties by eavesdropping or altering them. This attack allows the attacker to manipulate their communications or steal sensitive information without the knowledge of their victims. Man-in-the-middle attack, which has varieties such as Wi-Fi access point attacks, IP spoofing, and ARP poisoning, has also affected companies such as Lenovo and Google. These attacks pose a serious threat to individuals and organizations. Measures such as strong encryption methods, reliable certificate authorities, and continuous security training should be taken to protect against attacks. DOS and DDoS attacks are common threats in the cybersecurity world that aim to disrupt the normal operation of systems. A DOS, denial of service attacks, involves overwhelming a system, service, or network so that it becomes unavailable for a certain period. In these attacks, the attacker floods the target system with excessive traffic or consumes its resources, leading to service interruptions. On the other hand, a DDoS, distributed denial of service attack, is carried out using multiple computers and internet connections to overrun the target system and cause a service outage.
We can summarize the differences between DOS and DOS attacks as follows. DOS attacks originate from a single computer, while DOS attacks originate from multiple computers. The impact and duration of DOS attacks are higher than DOS attacks. DOS attacks are easier to detect and secure than the DOS attacks.
DOS and DOS attacks pose serious challenges to organizations by affecting the availability of their systems. It's critical to take proactive measures against these attacks, continuously monitor network security, and stay updated with the latest defense strategies. While it's possible to combat these threats with technical and strategic approaches, these attacks remain a concern even for large companies. In the past, companies like Amazon, Google, GitHub, and many others have been targeted by these attacks, leading to substantial financial losses. SQL injection is a code injection technique that targets database-driven applications. This method of attack is carried out by inserting malicious SQL commands into an input field, which allows unwanted operations to be performed on the database. Usually used against websites, but SQL injection can actually be used against any system that uses a SQL database. SQL injection attacks target vulnerabilities in application software. Especially, such attacks occur when user input is included in SQL statements directly and without proper filtering. Incorrect filtering or unexpected execution of data from the user leads to attackers gaining control over the database. SQL injection attacks allow attackers to impersonate others, change or delete information in the database, cancel transactions, or make balance changes. It can also result in complete exposure of all data on the system, destroying or rendering data unusable, and taking control of the database server. To prevent these attacks, first, we can use parameterized prepared statements. Second, we can use code reviews, penetration testing, and static analysis. Or, we can use input validation as a secondary defense when using bind variables. A zero-day attack is a cyber attack that targets a vulnerability that has not yet been discovered by the software manufacturer or security experts and therefore has not yet been patched. This type of attack is named after the zero day on which the vulnerability was discovered and attacked. Zero-day attacks give attackers a huge advantage by exploiting software vulnerabilities, as these vulnerabilities are often newly discovered and the solution has not yet been developed by software vendors. Therefore, there are no security updates or patches for the vulnerabilities yet, leaving systems vulnerable to such attacks. The attacks can spread rapidly and cause serious damage during the time it takes for the vulnerability to be discovered and closed. Zero-day attacks are often targeted at specific organizations or individuals because specific software or systems can be targeted. The impact of the attack is often great because attackers can exploit these vulnerabilities to gain covert access to the victim's systems, steal data, or otherwise gain control over it. To protect against such attacks, it's essential to continuously update software and systems to close known vulnerabilities. It's also important to monitor and protect systems using software such as antivirus and firewalls. Overall, user awareness and vigilance of security threats is one of the most effective defenses against zero-day attacks. Zero-day attacks remain a significant threat. These attacks pose serious security threats by targeted vulnerabilities that have not yet been discovered. Famous companies that have been hit by these attacks include Microsoft, Adobe, Zoom, Google, and many more. While we know a lot about these vulnerabilities, the question of why we don't build a perfect system has been on everyone's minds day by day. But remember, there is no perfect system. Every man-made system has a vulnerability and cyber attacks are based on finding and exploiting these vulnerabilities. Let's take a look at some global examples. The Melissa virus is a microvirus that appeared on March 26, 1999. It targeted Microsoft Word and Outlook-based systems, generating massive network traffic. The virus arrives on infected computers via an email with the subject line "Important Message" and an attached Word file. When the user opens the file, the virus sends itself to the first 50 contacts in the user's contact list and disables security measures in Microsoft Word and Outlook. The virus spreads using Visual Basic scripts in Word documents and targets the Outlook contact list on the system. The Melissa virus caused massive corporate damage by overloading email systems, affecting large organizations such as Microsoft, Intel, United States Marine Corps, and many more. It's estimated that around 1 million computers were infected and a total of $80 million in damage was caused. As a result, although the Melissa virus was quickly contained, it went down in history as a major cyber threat at the time. The Melissa virus can be characterized as an example of malware and phishing. 2007 Estonian cyber attacks are a series of large-scale cyber attacks that began on April 27, 2007 and lasted for several weeks. These attacks started after the Estonian government's decision to move the Soviet War Memorial in Tallinn and became a major international incident. In Estonia, these attacks targeted government agencies, banks, media outlets, and other important infrastructure. As a result, many websites were inaccessible for days and banking and public services were disrupted. The attacks caused extensive damage to Estonia's digital infrastructure, demonstrating how important cybersecurity is for national security. Estonia increased its cybersecurity measures after the incident, and these attacks have raised global awareness of the need for countries to be prepared for cyber attacks. Although it's not clear who is behind the attack, many resources have suggested that these attacks are linked to Russia. The Estonian cyber attacks can be characterized as an example of those DDoS attacks. Yahoo faced massive data breaches in 2013 and 2014, affecting approximately 3 billion user accounts. These breaches have been recognized as one of the largest data breaches in the history of the Internet. The attackers gained access to the company's user database by exploiting Yahoo's security vulnerabilities. Due to the weak encryption algorithm used, the passwords were easily crackable. With this attack, critical information such as usernames, email addresses, telephone numbers, days of work, and similar critical information was obtained. This incident showed how serious cybersecurity threats can be and that even large companies can be vulnerable to such attacks. Yahoo data breaches can be characterized as an example of SQL injection. The WannaCry ransomware attack was a worldwide cyber attack in May 2017 by the WannaCry ransomware crypto worm, which targeted computers running the Microsoft Windows operating system by encrypting data and demanding ransom payments in Bitcoin cryptocurrency. The attack began on Friday, 12th of May 2017, with evidence pointing to an initial infection in Asia at 7:44. Within a day, the code reportedly infected more than 230,000 computers in more than 150 countries. The initial infection likely occurred via an exposed vulnerable SMB port rather than phishing as initially assumed. It's estimated to have caused a loss of $4 million. WannaCry ransomware can be characterized as an example of malware.
If we give examples of other type cyber attacks, the employee contact information gap resulting from phishing attacks experienced by Reddit can be given as an example of the man-in-the-middle attack. On the other hand, the cyber attack Stuxnet, experienced by Iranian nuclear central in 2010, can be classified as zero-day exploit attacks, as it benefited from 4 zero-day exploits.
Of course, we are not helpless in the face of these attacks, but how? How can we protect ourselves from cyber attacks? If we need to briefly mention various ways to protect ourselves from these attacks, we can mention 7 points. Number 1. Keep your operating system and software updated. Number 2. Use antivirus software. Number 3. Use a strong password. Number 4. Never open spam attachments or links. Number 5. Never give away personal information. Number 6. Look before you click. Number 7. Protect your bank account. That's it. With these points, you can protect yourself from cyber attacks. Today, cyber attacks pose a major threat to both individuals and organizations. These attacks can have serious negative consequences, leading to financial losses, dignity loss, and data breaches. Especially cases such as theft of personal data, identity theft, and disclosure of companies' trade secrets show how serious security vulnerabilities can be. Therefore, it's extremely important to take cybersecurity measures. Organizations should use strong passwords, update their software regularly, and take protective measures such as firewalls. Individuals can protect themselves with simple but effective methods, such as using internet responsibly and avoiding suspicious emails. Let's not forget that cybersecurity is everyone's responsibility, and every step we take to ensure our safety in the digital world can help us prevent major threats in the future. Remember, taking security measures is not just an option, it's a necessity.
In this video, we briefly learned about the definition of cyber attack, important cyber attacks that have taken place so far, types of them, and how we can protect it from these attacks. Thank you for watching.